Welcome writers to my outlining video. This outline that I'm going to show you, this outlining process, is my complete process. So let's get straight into it. The first thing you need, as you can see, is a notebook, or you can have a whiteboard if that suits you better. I usually, in my notebook, as you can see, I usually start on this page rather than say on this page, just because it gives me a good overview. Anyway, so the very first thing I start with is, as you can see up here, I put the name of the manuscript that I'm working on, notes, and the date. You can do that or don't have to. Doesn't matter. Whatever works for you. And then I start with a very, very brief outlining. So beginning, middle, and end. So let's get this down so we can be a bit more close up. Now, so we'll start with a beginning, middle, and end. And this can be as basic or as detailed as you like. So let's just say, let's make up a story now. Let's say there's a princess. Every good story involves a princess, right? And she needs to marry a prince. So that's our beginning. There's a princess who needs to marry a prince. You can leave it like that, or you can get even more detailed. Why does she need to marry a prince? Her parents are broke. So the kingdom's broke. You can leave it like that again, or you can expand even more. What if her love interest is really the prince's butler? Ooh, now we've got a really interesting beginning, don't we? Then you can come to the middle. What's going to happen in the middle? You can also do this as Act 1, Act 2, Act 3, or however many acts you do. I am in the process this term at university or college studying and researching the structure of story. So I will be able to give you a little bit more detail on this probably closer to next year, because it'll be the next 6 months I'm researching that story structure. But for now, this will do, the beginning, middle, and end. So in the middle, we are going to need conflict. So the conflict can be duty versus love. Love, love. So something is going to have to happen in the middle that brings these two into conflict. Perhaps Butler confesses his love. And this is also in this formula for the for a romance novel. Say you have the boy meets girl, boy loses girl, boy ends up with girl. So how he loses her, the butler loses her due to missing an important date. This is just me making this up on the spot. That's why it's not that good. But this is why outlining can be good, because you can put all your ideas down and expand upon it. In the end, the butler makes it up to her. Oh, I just thought of something else. He doesn't miss a date. The prince lies. The prince lies. That's what gets them. That's how the boy loses the girl, because the prince lies about something. Ooh, see? This is why it's good. Then the butler makes a revelation, and she realizes the truth. See? This is all you need. That's the beginning, middle, and end. We've got a story to start with now, and this is more than we had 2 minutes ago. So that's really good. This is why it's a good process to do this. And excuse my messy writing, but I'm a writer. We all have messy writing, so it doesn't matter. I then move on to, once the beginning, middle, end basic structure is down, I then move on to what I call my GMCF statement. And as you can see, it stands for goal, motivation, conflict, and fear. And you can see it's in 2 columns because I always do one for both the hero and the heroine, because I find, you don't have to, as I said, but I just find that it makes my characters a bit deeper. It gives them deeper personalities. All right, so we start with the goal. The goal is the what. What do they want? So with our princess story, what does the princess want? She wants to help her kingdom or queendom. And her motivation, that's the why. Why does she want to help her kingdom? Well, she cares about her people. She doesn't want them to end up poor and in the streets. Conflict. Haha, I already introduced a conflict in the structure. So that is butler. The butler is the love interest. So not liking the prince. That could be another one. Not liking prince. And there can be all sorts of different conflicts. It doesn't just have to be with people. It can be places. It could be things. For example, maybe she doesn't want to live in a foreign country if she marries the prince. She doesn't want to move home. Can be things like this. This is, let your imagination go wild during this process. I do. I usually end up with about 6 pages of notes while I'm doing this. All right, her fear. What is her fear? This is, the conflict is what's in the way. What's in the way? So what is stopping the characters from getting their goal and motivation? The fear. And I've done a bigger video on this as well on my YouTube channel on each of these. If you want to check that out, I'll put the link down below to that. Now, the fear. I know a lot of people know about GMC, and I always find that adding the fear adds that extra bit of depth to the story. So just give it a try and see if you agree, and leave in the comments below whether you think it's added an extra element. So fear, you're obviously going to know what this is, what they're scared of. And specifically what they're scared of if they don't achieve their goal. Okay? So what is she scared of? It's come up a little bit here in the motivation. So people poor. Also, it could be disappointing family. Disappointing family. And it could be something like being a bad princess. These are all fears that can help deepen this whole story here. All right, and then I would do one for the love interest. So here I would do one for the butler as well, but I'm not going to do that today because it's just going to slow this video down, and you already get the idea from this. All right, so the next thing that I do, flip over the page, is a mind map. Mind maps are awesome. If you've never done one, try one today. So in the middle, as you can see, it's got the mind map question. Now, the mind map question is something along the lines of, why is my heroine the only one who can be the heroine in this story? Why not somebody else? What makes her so special and him so special? You can do one for the love interest as well. That they are the only ones who can play out this story. I did one for all of my characters in the Bloodworth family series. I did one for Leo that I posted on my social media. If you want to scroll through and have a look at that, you can. Basically, this is just where I list where all the arrows are, all of these arrows. I list everything my brain can think of about why they are the unique person who can carry out this story. So what makes them so special? Let's have a think about the princess. Okay, what makes her so special is she really cares. She's not a spoiled princess stereotype. She actually cares about her people. She wants to do the right thing. And I'm going to put right in quote marks because doing the right thing is subjective to each person and story. So, and then you just keep going around until you fill these up, and I usually end up with arrows coming here and arrows coming off arrows. Write even the stupid things, even the stupid ideas. Move on to this page, which is my miscellaneous page. I never know what to call it. It's just my loose bits of information page. So the setting is going to be the Princess's Kingdom. Princess's Queendom. Let's say Queendom, hey? Princess's Queendom is where the setting is. The month and the season, so let's make it, well, it's June. So let's do June. And let's make it in the southern hemisphere because that's where I am. So that means it's winter. So you do the month and the season. Obviously, if you're in the northern hemisphere, it's going to be summer. But yeah, so this is to keep you in mind when you're writing scenes that are outside or whatever. You know, does the princess need to be wearing a jacket? Or can she be wearing a bikini? And these sorts of things are important. Then you want to come up with the themes. So taking our current story that we've got, the themes could be putting self first. Because she is worried so much about doing the right thing, not letting her parents hate her, helping the people. So maybe one of her themes is she needs to put herself first. Is it really worth a lifetime of misery? Is she making the right sacrifice? A lifetime of misery for everybody else. So putting herself first will be one theme. Obviously, if it's romance novel, love is going to be a theme. That's a given. But even if love is the theme, and it is for a romance novel, try to break this down a bit more. So is it all love is self-love? Is it unconditional love? Or what is unconditional love? See what I mean? You can break it down further. You don't just need to leave it as a one-dimensional cliche. So write all the themes here that you can think of, and you might choose one of those. You might choose to incorporate all of those. This is our outlining stage, so you can let your mind go a bit crazy. Just put everything you can think of down, and then you can narrow all of this while you're writing. The last thing I do, as you can see here, is a character description. I don't go crazy with these. I know some people do, but I do not go crazy with it. I do a brief character description. So in this case, our princess can have brown eyes. She can have dark curly hair, because curly hair is awesome, just ask me. And she can have dark skin. Alright, so that's our princess description, and this is all I do really. I don't get a lot into skinny, fat, that sort of thing. It doesn't really matter. So, well, to me, you might want to, I don't really care. But yeah, this is my character description, and if you read my books, you'll see I pretty much focus on eyes and hair. That's it. That's all that matters. Everybody can fill in the gaps, and I think readers like to fill in the gaps too. And then over here I'll do the butler. So the butler can be, and don't just write tall, dark and handsome. Just write something like, okay, he can have green eyes. He can be tanned because he spends a lot of time outdoors. I don't know. Green eyes, tanned, and he has brown hair. How does that sound for our little butler? And you can do a prince's description here too, but he's not the love interest, so we don't really care about him. So that was my complete outline, and it only took 15 minutes. See how simple and quick it can be? Thanks so much for watching. Bye.